Kembo na tata Nzambi ya Manzulu kimfumu kia kuyisa. Greetings to the Bena Kongo. Bena Yisolele all over the world, dispersed ones and scattered ones. Welcome. I'm Nabi Kefas, and today we have a wonderful presentation. We're going to look into Zephaniah, the son of Kushi, as he presents himself, a hidden people in Central Africa. That's the topic of our presentation today, our episode. So, before we start, like and share. Come on, invite some people to join us because this is gonna be great. Hallelujah. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. How's everybody doing? It's been a while. I have a lot of things going on in my life, but I just wanted to make time today, as things are a bit slow today, to come and do a live session with all of you. Yes. So go ahead, invite some people to join us. I know many thought that I disappeared, and but I'm still here. Kembo, how's everyone doing? Mbote, about just business. What's happening? How you are? Yes, come on. I invite some people to join us. We're gonna have some great presentation today as we are looking into Zephaniah, the son of Kushi, as he presents himself. Okay? And at the end of this lesson, you will also know the true Bantu name of Zephaniah. His name is not Zephaniah, that is a Romanized version. Yeah, so what is his true Bantu Israelite name? It will be revealed. It will be revealed as we. Yeah, come on. Let's get some people in. Invite, share. Tell some people that we're live today. We're live today. Yeah. Now, okay, because of time, let's start. Time is precious. Some say time is money. So let's start with this presentation and be ready to make notes. All right. So I'm Nabi Kefas. Welcome to my platform, my YouTube channel. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Before we continue, like and share this video. Yes, invite some people to join us at this very moment. Ingeta. Now, let's start. Yes, I will share my screen. Whoa, how do you do this? How do I get myself in there? It's been a while, people. I'm trying to refigure this out. Excuse me for that. Really, man. How- Man. All right. Now, Zephaniah. It's not doing what I want. Sorry, people. I want to split the screen, but hmm. Man, help me out if you're familiar with what is it? StreamYard. Okay, I'm trying to figure this thing out, man. It's so stupid. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right, I did it. Bravo. So Zephaniah, the son of Kush, a hidden people in Central Africa. Okay, that's our. I will skip a lot of information because of time. We will go just straight to Zephaniah. So Zephaniah is described as one of the 12 so-called minor prophets. He prophesied during the 7th century BCE. The prophet introduced himself as the son of Kushi, the son of Gedaliah, the son of Amariah, the son of Hezekiah. In the days of Josiah, the son of Ammon or Amun, king of Judah. Now, he seems to have been a descendant of Levi by the house of Kohath. Some say he was of the royal house of Hezekiah, Judah. Zephaniah calls himself. Now, Zephaniah's call for. No, I'm skipping something. The prophet opens by describing a future day of God. On that day, Zephaniah warns God will purge the kingdom of Judah of the evil in its midst, destroying the unfaithful and their idolatry. Zephaniah calls for reform, justice, and humility, and prophesies about the downfall of the enemies of the Israelites, and ends with a consolatory message about a future return to Zion. Yes, the future return to Siani. That's the Kikongo, Zion, Siani. Yes, now in the Congo tradition, before one speaks to a group, he must always introduce himself first, starting with his name, his parents' name, tribe, and sometimes followed with his social position. And Zephaniah as a Mwanamuntu, yes, which is translated as the son of man, Mwanamuntu introduces himself in that manner. Zephaniah, the son of Kushi, the son of Gedaliah, the son of Amariah, the son of Hezekiah, etc. Now, when we analyze the biblical Hebrew word Kushi, the definition is black or the blackness. Kushi was an ancestor of Yehudi from Jeremiah 36. He's also the father of the prophet Zephaniah. Now, I will skip all of this. Okay. Now, the land which the Bible designates as Kush, we identify it to be ancient Nubia, present day Sudan, and ancient Upper Egypt, the region of the Great Lakes, which is the birthplace of civilization. The Besi Congo call this land Kongo Kachopa, the navel or the embo of Kimuntu, Kimuntu being humankind. Now, in the Kikongo language, the land of Africa is called Kongo Kachopa. And I explain the word Kachopa in a different video. For those who want to understand it, there I explain it. Now, the Hebrew word Kush means black. The Greek equivalent is Ethiopia, derived from Ethiop, dark or black face. The name Sudan is of Arabic etymology from Bilat as Sudan, and it means land of the blacks. So Kush, Ethiopia, in the Greek, and Sudan in Arabic all have the same meaning: black, or the land of the black, or the Negroes, the black people. Yes. Now let's see. Now, Sudan originated from Saud, meaning blacks. Sudan, Kush, Ethiopia are foreign names for the same geographical location which the foreigners, the Ngoi. Ngoi is a Kikongo word which means strangers or those of the other nations. Yeah, but mostly strangers or other nations. Consider the land of the blacks, Negroes. Now, Central Africa is the land where the dispersed one will come together in the gathering of the people, the Bantu Israelite. According to scripture, Congo Kachopa is the center, Kati, Kati, which means in the center or middle, or the heart, which is Ntima in Kikongo, Ntima, the heart of the Bantu Israelite, Yisolele. It's the heart of the clans, Luvila in Kikongo, and the great houses, which is Kanda. So most of you have watched, of course, the movie Wakanda, which is directly taken from the Congo. Kanda, meaning house or great house, the great clan or family. Now, for our understanding, Kush represents Africa. Yes, and in this case, we're not talking about the son of Ham per se, but the land of Africa wherein the Bantu Israelites have been living for millenniums. Yes, for a long, long, long time. The Bible provides evidence that the Israelites lived in Kush and the Sudan as far back as 725 BC. Now, it is wrong. I got this from somewhere, but I don't think that's completely correct. I believe we have been living there for much longer, for thousands of years in Africa. Now, the prophet Isaiah, who lived at the time, prophesied that the Lord shall set forth his hand a second time to recover the remnant of his people from Assyria and from Egypt, Mizraim, and from Petros and southernmost Egypt, known as Nubia, and from Kush. And only 70 years later, a prophet Zephaniah declares, from the boundaries of the rivers of Ethiopia will I receive my dispersed ones. They shall offer sacrifices to me. It is the Septuagint translation. Now, that an Israelite population already inhabited the inland parts of Black Africa is also recorded by John Africanus, who himself was also of Negro descent, a famous 16th century geographer and historian. He records in his book, which in translation is entitled A Geographical History of Africa, there inhabited a most populous nation of Jewish stock, located west of the Nile and below the Sahara in a region between Abyssine and Congo. And it is the Kush interior. Now, a glance at any modern map shows that the region which Africanus says was inhabited by Jews at the time of Menelik, son of Solomon, and the queen of Sheba, is almost precisely the Chad Nile, the area uh, from where Dixon and other scholars inform us the parent stock of today's black Africans came from, bringing with them the Hebrew customs of their forefathers. It's taken from the Hebrew heritage of black Africa. It's a good book to read. Order it if you want more on that. Now, the biblical Hebrew word Kushi stems patronymically from Kush. As we have seen, the definition of this word is black or their blackness, Kushan. The Syrian for Kush is Kusu. The Babylonian is Kasu from the Brown Briggs lexicon. Now, when we look into the Paleo Hebrew Kikongo, we have several words that correspond with the biblical word Kush. The first Bantu Kikongo word, Kuzi. Now, pay attention now. Now, the first word that corresponds with the Hebrew Kush is the Kikongo Kuzi, which means black. And then we have the second Kikongo word that corresponds with the Hebrew Kush, Kusa. Yeah? Now, Kusa means to smear, a rubbing on, right? And then we have the third word, Kikongo word, which corresponds with the Hebrew Kush, which is Kuswa. Now, some of you have heard the name Kuswa Kongo. Maybe not, but some. Hello. Yes. Are we good? Are we good? Can you hear me? We back, right? Okay. All praises, all praises. All right. Excuse me for that. Like I said, I've been having problems like 30 minutes or longer. I think longer, an hour even, just to get online. All kinds of technical problems. StreamYard was refusing me, to log in and to start a live session. And oh man, but we're here. We're worried. Okay, now this word Kushi, right? This Hebrew word Kushi, it stems from the Kikongo. Yeah, so when we look and compare the Kikongo word with the Hebrew Kush, first of all, we have the Kikongo Kuzi, or Kosi, Kosi or Kuzi. Now, Kuzi means black. Yeah. Kusa, pay attention. Kusa means to smear and rubbing on. Kuswa means anointed one, right? Kuswa is the third one. Kuswa means anointed one. So some of you have heard me or others say Kuswa Kongo, Kuswa Kongo, which is Christ, which is Christ. Kuswa Kongo is Christ. So we see that in Kuswa Kongo, we already have the identification of Christ as being a black man. Because Kush, the Hebrew word Kush means black, right? Means a dark person, a Negro, a Moor. So in the Kikongo Kuswa, as we see the word Kus, seems to be the root for all the above mentioned names. Kus, Kuzi, Kusa, Kuswa, and of course the Hebrew Kush. Yeah? The root is Kush. Now, this reveals that among the African Bantu, the Christ must be found. Yes, the chosen people must be found. And they are Kusi. That's to say, African, black, the Negroes. They are not white Europeans. See? Israelites are not Europeans. Now, there's an individual, interesting individual of the tribe of Levi named, I don't know if you have ever seen this name, right? In the Bible, but there is an individual in the Bible from the tribe of Levi named Kushaya. Crazy. Kushaya. Now, in scriptures, now, once again confirming that the root Kush was part of the names of several prominent individuals among the Israelites. So, Kush is a Hebrew name. Kushi is a Hebrew name. It has nothing to do with cussing someone out, calling someone a nigger or negro. It's the same as we say Mohindu. So Mohindu means one who is black. Mohindu means people kissed by the sun. Mohindu means us as black people. When I say I'm black, I'm not cussing myself. I'm not cursing myself. So the Israelis and all our enemies have made the term black to mean something derogative, right? Something negative. But in scripture, we see several Hebrew Israelites, Bantus, who carry the name Kushi or Kish. And here we even have this Levite named Kushaya, which also stems from the root Kush. Okay? Now, when you read in First Chronicles 15:17, we get the following. So the Levites appointed Heman, the son of Joel, and of his brethren, Asaph, the son of Berechiah, and the son of Merari. Now, Merari, is in the Kikongo, we have a people called Balari. Okay, so Merari is actually Balari in the Kikongo. Let me see if we can do a quick search. When we go to Google Maps, okay, let's go to Google Maps. So when I type in Balari, oh, look at here, Balari. You see that? Balari. What do you see here? Balari. Democratic Republic of what? The Congo. Let me say that again. Democratic. Let me enlarge it even more because maybe you're not able to read it. See? Balari. Who is Balari? Balari is Merari. Yeah? Merari. Amazing, eh? Amazing, amazing, amazing. So, Merari, Levites, is actually the Congo tribe, Congo people in DRC called the Balari. Okay. So there is this individual called Kushaya. Valerie says Kushaya is Kinshasa. Yeah. Now, when we look into the Hebrew spelling, right, we see Kushaya. Yes, we see the kof, the faf, the shin, the yud, the hey, and once again the faf, right, which gives us Kusaya you, Kusaya you, according to the pronunciation, or Kusayahu. That's according to the pronunciation of the so-called Hebrew, right? Kusayahu. Now, it comes from the passive particle of kosh, or koshe, a primitive root to mean to bend, and it also comes from Yah, right? From Yah, or Yah, contraction for the tetragrammaton, Yud He Vav He. Okay, I can click on these links, but it's okay. So we have Kusayawa, which is a combination of two words, Kosh and Ya. Now, when we go into the Kikongo, the Congo gives us Koza, also gives us Kuza, because the O and the U, right? The O and the U are interchangeable. So in the Kikongo, Bantu, you can say Koza or Kuza, which gives us the same definition, to bend, right? Because we are told here that Kose means to bend. Now, when we look into the Kikongo, we also see here to be bent, right? To bend. Here we have Kozi. As you can see, Kozi, which also means dark or black. uh, Let me see if we can. Does he accept a search? Quick search? It does not. Okay. So Balari, look at the location of Balari. See, it's in the heart, close to Kinshasa. Look Kinshasa here, right there. We have Kinshasa and Brazzaville, and Balari is right there in Kinshasa. So going back to Koza Kuza, which means to bend. The second part of the name of Kusayahu, according to the Hebrew, is Yah. Now, in the Kikongo, Yah means what? It means great one. Yes, elevated one, superior. An expression to show veneration. That's Yah. So when we are addressing people who are older than ourselves, we never call them by their name directly. It's disrespectful. So you will say Yaya and then followed with the name Yaya, etc. Yaya, such and such. Okay. So Ya means great one, elevated one, superior, one who is superior. Also, it is used as an expression to show veneration. The true name of this Levite, Mwana Levi. Now, Mwana Levi can also be, come on, Levi or Lawe. And we have, for example, Malawi, Lawe, Malawi or Malawi, which is Bantu. Yes, Bantu comes directly from Lewe, Lawe, which reference back to the tribe of Levi. All right. Now, so his true name of this Levite is Kusaya. Yes, Kusaya. Kusaya. The bow of Yah. The one who bends like the bow of Yah. And I do agree with Valerie. Kushaya is also the root for Kinshasa. Yes, and I will do a video on that maybe another time. So this Levite name is Kusaya. Kusaya. Look at this. Kusaya. When we go back to Kuswa, the anointed one who is Christ, Christ Kuswa, which is very close with Kusaya. Yes, Kusaya, one who bends like the bow of Yah, who is actually a weapon in the hands of the Most High. And we are told in the book of Zephaniah that the Israelites will be the bow of the Most High, a weapon in the hands of the Most High to fight who? Our enemies, those who hate us and seek our destruction. Those are our enemies. You see, in church, we are taught that one who does not believe in Christ is our enemy, right? One who does not adhere in the faith of Christianity is an enemy. And we also taught that in church that your enemies are the demons, right? Negativity, evil spirit, Satan. But the Bible says in the book of Luke, Lucas 1 of Luke 1, that the Kuswa, right? The Christ, the Kuswa, which means anointed one, he will come to fight our enemies. So we do have enemies, those who seek our destruction. They are there. Yeah, so Kushaya, which is one who bends like the bow of Yah, uh, which is very close with Kuswa, anointed one, Christ. And believe me, that the Messiah will come as a Kusaya. That's to say, the bow of the Most High, right? And we ourselves are also a type of Kusaya, because in the hands of the Most High, we are also like a weapon, a bow of the Most High, a weapon. Though a prophet is like a bow in the hands of the mighty, the Most High. Now, when we analyze Zephaniah's name, more secrets get revealed. Now, when we examine the name of Zephaniah, we will gain an even greater, yes, even greater revelation and come to the understanding that the prophet who speaks about the regathering of the Bantu Israelite tribes in Africa beyond the rivers of Kush hides a huge secret within the meaning of his name. Zephaniah. The transliteration says Sepanya. Sepanya. All right. Now, his name of Zephaniah is constructed from two words. The first word is Safan, and the second Yah. And we will look into these two words. Let's start with the first Safan. Yes, the first is Safan. Now let's look into this word Safan. Safan starts with the letter Tzad or Tzade. I don't know how they pronounce it. Nsadi. In Congo, we would say Tzadi. So this letter Tzadi is defined as to walk on the right path without losing the way. You see, Nsadi, Safan. Now, the people who are called to walk on the right path without losing the way, that is to say, bound to a covenant. You see? So it's talking about the people of a covenant. We are bound to walk and on a certain path, to keep the commandments, right? To live righteous as the light of the world. Now look at this. Nsada also gives us the Kikongo word Nsadik. Nsadik, which means righteous, just, good, morality, and judgment. In the Hebrew, oh, in the Hebrew, it is tzadak. Now let's open this one. Okay, let's have this one. Yeah, there are not a lot of people in this life, because it's been, I think, maybe a month or two. I don't remember that I've done a live session. So many people I don't even know if they have the notifications on, but you're here. And I hope you're enjoying this lesson. Okay. If you're enjoying it, give me a thumbs up. Thumbs up this video, of course, and give me a thumbs up in the chat. Let me know that you are here and you are enjoying what we're sharing. Okay. And if you want to support the work, you can support me here on YouTube via super chat, super thanks, and whatever. You can also go to my Patreon and become a Patreon member. Yes, and have some additional teachings which are not here available on YouTube. Matondo. And if you want to relocate somewhere in the future in Africa, and you would love to be where I am in Angola, let me know, because I do have a organization called Angola Investment Group, and we help the diaspora to buy land, right, for development, land um, for agriculture business, yes, and of course real estate. But we also help you to establish your business in Angola. And so Angola Investment Group is your partner if you're looking to do some business in Angola, in Africa, buy land for development, for agriculture business, buy real estate, and so much more. Contact me if you're interested. All right. Kembo na tata Nzambi ya manzulu kinfumu ki akuyisa. All praises. So you see the Hebrew sadak. Sadak.
Ik kan niet vertalen naar het USA.
You see the Hebrew sadak, which is defined as to be just, to be righteous, to have a just cause, to be justified, to be just used of God, etc., etc. Now, this word sadak is the Kikongo tzadik. Okay, tzadik. It's the Kikongo tzadik, which means righteous, just, of good morality and of good judgment. Now, the letter tzad, tzadi, can be vocalized with the sound of TS, okay, the sound of TS, the sound of S, or the sound of Z. Now, in Semitic Bantu, TS, yes, and C, we pronounce like this, like with the E, and C, and the letter NS are the same. Okay, that's in Bantu. TS and NS are the same. So you can say Nsade or Nsadi, Nsadi, or you can say Nsadi. Okay, so the NS and the TS are interchangeable. They're the same. Nsadi, Nsadi. Now, in biblical Hebrew, Safan, yes, this word Safan or Sapan means to hide. Okay, pay attention. It means to hide, to treasure, or to conceal. This word comes from the Kikongo Lingala. So Safan is the Lingala Zipa. Okay? It comes from the Lingala Zipa, which means to cover, yes, to hide, to seal, from the verb kozipa, yes, kozipa, which means to cover, to hide, to conceal, yes. corresponding with another Lingala word, zipana, which has the same definition. Zipana. So true Hebrew, Kikongo, is the true Paleo Hebrew. Yes, and then we have the different dialects, which of course genetically come from the same mother tongue. Yes, the Proto Bantu. So the true Paleo Hebrew, the true Hebrew is Kikongo, are the Bantu languages, the dialects. Kikongo being the mother, followed by Swahili, Lingala, and all the other dialects. But in the Bible, when you study the Strongs, you will see a lot of Kikongo words, Lingala words, Swahili words, Zulu words. Why is it? Because the source of those words is Kibantu. No doubt about it. Only haters, those who ignore the facts, because we doing comparisons of word, right? We look into the words, the strong definitions, and we find the exact words in Bantu, in Kikongo, Lingala, Swahili, Zulu, having the same definition. That's not a coincidence. It's telling us something. Okay. So Zapan, the Hebrew Zapan is the Kikongo Zipana. Okay. Zipa or Zipana. And then we have Ya, of course, I have explained. Ya, which is a contraction of the Tetragrammaton. Yud He Vav He comes from the Kikongo Ya. Okay. Ya. Kikongo is Ya. Ya. To give veneration, used when addressing one who is superior, greater, honorable. So we can now conclude that the true Bantu name of the prophet is Zapanya, or Tsipanya. Yes, the true Bantu name of the prophet Zephaniah is Zapanya or Tsipanya, which means concealed. Yes, concealed, hidden, and treasured by Yakongo, revealing the mystery that the tribes the prophet speaks of are hidden between the boundaries of the rivers of Kush. And I have showed you that Kush is connected with the Messiah. Yes, one who is the bow of Yah, Kushaya. It's connected very close with Kuswa, which means anointed one, Christ. It is so amazing. Only haters will deny it. Now, Zephaniah is not the only prophet who referred to the Bantu Israelite tribes as hidden ones. In the book of Psalm 83, verse 3, we read, they have taken, let me highlight it, they have taken, who are the they? We know, the enemies of the Bantu. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. Yes, thy people. And consulted against thy hidden ones. Okay, now for this one, let's jump back to the Blue Letter Bible. Let's read it from there. Interesting, eh? Look at this. they have taken crafty counsel. Let me open up the tools and do it like this. Okay, against thy people, um, crafty counsel. No, what is this? Okay, against thy people, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. Now, the word for people, yeah, as you can see here, is Yes, ain mem. Am. Am comes from the Kiswahili ami, which means people. Okay, ami. Kiswahili Bantu means people. And the hidden ones is once again the word sapan. The word sapan, which is the Kikongo. What was it? Who remembers? Which is the Kikongo we see here? The Hebrew sapan, right? Which the Kikongo, Lingala, zipa, or zipana, which means to cover, hide, or conceal, right? To cover, hide, or conceal. Sapan. And then we have this strange word over here. We will get to that. We'll get to that strange word over there later. And so the Hebrew word used for people, that word stems from the Kiswahili ami, which means people. We know now that Safan stems from the Lingala zipana. Thus, an accurate translation would be concealed people. And Bantu translate directly to people, right? So, concealed people. And then we have this strange Hebrew word. We have this strange word here, sepuneka. I don't even know if that's the what we have here. Yes, it's this word, sepuneka. Now, when we take the consonants, okay, the ayin, kof, vav, kaf, and the yut, we get SPWKA. Now, compare this with the Kikongo word, suekama, which means to be hidden, be concealed. You see, so there are so many hidden gems when you know Lingala, Kikongo, Kiswahili, any Bantu language, and you study, you zoom into the Strong's Concordance. Because what we are reading, when you are reading the Bible, you are reading a translation. But when you go to the source and you start to study the Strong's Concordance, you really go into the depth of it, and you will come to the conclusion. No. This book was originally a Bantu book, okay? African book. What they took and played with it. You see? It's crazy. So even this Hebrew word, let us forget about this pronunciation, sepuneka. When we look into the consonant, and the characters, uh, we get SPWKA. Now let us forget about the P, which gives a punica. And when we compare this with the Kikongo word, which has the same consonantal roots, Swekama, it means to be hidden, be concealed. So Psalm 83, verse 3, revealed to us that those hidden ones are the Bantu people, okay, which goes hand in hand with the prophecy of Zephaniah. Zephaniah 3, verse 10. Okay. Beyond the rivers of Kush, the daughter of my dispersed shall bring me mine offering. So Zephaniah prophesied that the sons of Israel, the Bene Yisolele, who are also called Bene Kushi, the treasured black people, Bantu of Yakongo, will be hidden as the enemies gather themselves to destroy them and remove their name from the earth, according to the book of Psalm. Yakongo preserved them and promised to regather them together in the land beyond the rivers of Kush, where the daughter of his dispersed one will offer sacrifices to him. Okay, next time we will break down the first Zephaniah 3, verse 10. Okay, Zephaniah. So when we go to Zephaniah, yes, now next time we will zoom into this verse and we will break it down Bantu style, okay, to show you more hidden secrets in the book of Zephaniah, which directly links the people he's prophesying to, called the remnant of Israel, with the Bantu. Amazing, amazing stuff. Yeah, amazing stuff. So we will digest, very, very, yeah, let me say, we will parse this verse completely, okay, word by word, okay, word by word, beyond rivers, Ethiopia, suppliants, daughter, dispersed, and offering. Those are the words that we will look into. Hey, it will be amazing. Will you be there? We will look into this word, uh, yeah, into this verse. We will parse it completely. We will, zoom in, study the words, and you will see that no, it is something else. We are the people of the book. Okay, we are the people of the book, and the name of the Messiah, who Christians have called Jesus, is Yiseka'yah. Okay, his name is Yiseka'yah or Yiseka'yah, not Yehoshua. Not whatever names people are calling out there. Let's think for a moment. Let's reason together. Okay, let's reason together. You all in the diaspora, you have lost Ambote by Ambote, Mbote. You have lost your language. Okay? You all in the diaspora, you have lost your language. But we Bantu teachers, like myself, and many others like Nabi Kia Kesa, Nabi Siba Malonga, and many others, right? By the research we are doing, going into the depth of the scriptures, right? Especially in the language, we are showing you, presenting to you that the true language, the remnant of Yisolele, the remnant of Israel, those who remained, there were those who were taken, but there are also those who remained. You understand? We are still speaking the Paleo Hebrew, which is Kikongo, Lingala, right? So that is to say, we are coming with the true names and pronunciations. We cannot be 100%, because only those who lived in those times can be 100%, but definitely we can be 80-90% with the pronunciation and the names, right? Because we are still speaking Kikongo, we are still speaking Lingala, we are still speaking Kiswahili, we are still speaking Zulu, etc. Yasharael, or Yahuwah, or what other names? Those are not the names. I ask myself sometimes, how do you all come to those names? Because you lost the language. So how are you coming up with those names which are nowhere to be found in Africa? No trace of Yahuwah or Yasharael or whatever. But Yiseka'yah Congo, Yiseka'yah, Nsiani, Kusaya, it's all traceable among the Congo people, among the Bantu people on the continent. So I just wonder, we must not be proud to think that we have all the answers. The remnant of the Hebrew Kongololo, which our ancestors spoke, is still being spoken today. So we bow ourselves in humility, learn Kikongo, learn Lingala, learn Kiswahili, learn Zulu, learn the Bantu languages, learn Kikongo, Lingala, learn Lingala. Because those are the true remnants of the Hebrew, the Paleo Hebrew, Kongololo, which our ancestors spoke. Okay? Peter is not Peter. If you, as Bantu, your name is Pierre, you're colonized. If you, as a Bantu, your name is Peter, you have been colonized. Your name must be Nsadi, as Peter, which means the rock, or Kefa, which means strong one. That's Peter. If you, as a Bantu, your name is Jacques or James, you have been colonized. The true Bantu is Yakuba. You understand? We are not Israel. We are not Jews. We are Bantu. We are Congo. Our ancestors, those who lived beyond the rivers of Kush. We never called ourselves Israelites. Yes, never. That's a Romanized word, version. Yisolele. Yes, Kongo. Okay, the people called by his name. I have to do a lesson on that one, a live on that one. Now, who are the people called by his name? A people called by his name. What is his name then? Because his name must also be the name of his people and the name of the land. So when we look once again in Congo Kachopa, yes, we see the name of the Most High, Akongo or Yakongo. We see the name of the people who are called Bakongo. We see the name of the land, which is called Congo. Yes, 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 yes. Matondo for being here. What's going on? Okay. So, if you want to comment on today's live session, what we discussed, I have dropped the link there. My only requirement is that you behave yourself. You know, we can disagree. You can share your opinions, whatever, but be respectful. So, if you want to join, to make a comment, or just to greet the family, you're welcome. And so I give you a minute to decide so you can enter into the broadcast and share your thoughts. Okay? If you're not polite, if you're coming with a filthy mouth, of course, I will remove you directly. It's normal, eh? If you come into someone's space, you need to be respectful. Okay. Yeah, so I give you a minute. If there's no interest, then I come to a conclusion. I hope you all enjoyed the information. Yes, we had many difficulties. I had so many technical problems. I'm not even sure if I will keep this live session in the air. Because it's no, because if people want to rewatch this with all those technical problems and all the things that happened, I don't know. We will have to see. No, but for you who are here, great. By the way, listen, people. Bena Kongo, Bena Zulu. Look, if you want to receive these notes, okay, send me an email. There, get the email. If you want to receive this note, send me an email, okay, and we can discuss the instructions how you can get it. And this was just yeah, I worked on this I think yesterday or something. And so our next discussion will be breaking down Zephaniah 3 verse 10 word by word, right? Word by word. Ingeta. So you will get even greater understanding the secrets which Zephaniah hides. Zipanya, which is the true Bantu name, Zipanya, which means concealed and hidden by Yah, or those who are treasured by Yah. Whatever you love, you keep it safe. you hide it for the thieves. All right. So I guess there is no interest to join the live stream, and to share whatever is on your mind. So I will come to a conclusion. We are organizing a second trip to Angola. If you're interested in joining my organization, Angola Investment Group, with our second trip for this year to Angola, send me email. Yes, you can send an email to there you go. Yes. So you can send an email to Angola Investment Group at gmail.com. Oh, I messed up, eh? Okay, it's supposed to be gmail.com, not gmail. It's supposed to be gmail.com. So if you want to receive the notes that I shared, email me at apostolando@gmail.com. If you want to receive information on our next trip or investment opportunities in Angola, you can also send email to Angola Investment Group at gmail.com. All right, so Bena Kongo, Bena Nzambi. It was a pleasure. I know I haven't been online for a while, okay? Because there are some things in my life, some things going on that I need to fix. That's the reason. But as soon as that is over, you will once again be seeing me much more online. All right. Thank you, Matondo. I'm Nabi Kefas. If you have joined this live broadcast for the first time, you enjoyed the teaching, make sure to subscribe. I will say like and share, but I'm not sure if I will keep this broadcast in the air on YouTube. So, Kembo, greetings, Bena Kongo, may Congo reign in Geta.